Hmm. Do. Dun, 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 dun.
Right.
That was our rehearsal. That was what it was.
Already got the tag thing cleaned up so I can get through it quicker this time.
No, it was really good. It's funny because I always feel there's so much. I always think back to like my first had like Jim Gabbard and Brandon Bailey explained to me like what was going on. And like, okay. And now, once you get that down. So 5 White Claws later.
just two.
It's all right.
Yeah, I've been on a diet, so I try to keep, whatever IWA nut it is to like two or three.
There you are, you monster. My cat is addicted to treats. Where's Darren? Is he coming in?
Yeah.
Popping up.
Disappeared. I don't see him responding.
No, he moved. Had the old bio break, as we used to call them. That's all right. Well, this is, I think, I should have said this earlier, the 39th or 40th workshop. I should really know that, but that's the kind of show we run here. It's less about the name and more about the substance. Well, I got to see. I can watch. Pops in. Once again, look at all those action figures. Holy moly. How many are there in there?
See, this is actually my garage. So it doesn't have a lot of room. I just built an office in the corner because I work from home.
Oh, okay.
So it's just easier. Got the kids in the house, dogs, cat. So
now, were you working from home before pandemic, or were you?
Yeah, like 6 or 7 years I've been working
nice.
from home. So. But in here, wrestlers, I would say there's like 400.
Wow.
The Office Pops, there's like 70. Then I've got the movie MCU figures of Marvel Legends. There's like 150 of those.
Are you in the part of the country you in?
Kentucky.
Oh, okay. So you're Jamie Davis. Jamie Davis is out in Kentucky. At least he was.
Still is. He's up towards Louisville, so I'm towards the southern part of the state.
So no wonder you have an AC in the window.
Yeah, because that's the garage, so it gets very hot.
Yeah.
I'm trying to share, but everything's freezing.
Hold on, let me make sure this is.
No, it looks like I have permission. It's just
okay.
So there's a chance everything just crashes in a minute. We'll see.
That's all right. We'll do it live. Yeah, I was thinking about how it's, there's so many things you can dig into, so it's just, trying to figure out the front 10 and the back 5. And I used to do the back 5 first all the time. And I thought, well, I'll just easy, it's only 5 holds. But I know a lot of the rookies have done really well, like, like McFerrari, Justin was doing good with them for a while. And then Jonathan with his, industry were doing really well. And I mean, like, not just well, like pulling 500s, like really well. It used to be the end of rail, was like they hit a 496. We're like, yeah, these guys are getting it. No luck yet?
No, it's gonna crash. So I'll be right back.
Okay. Broke the system. My God. There it is. Ta-da.
Okay. Okay. So let's see, try to start back where we did. Start listing out all the possible combinations. There's 47 standard tags.
This is for tag team. We're focusing. The last time was 6-man. This time is tag team.
So we know the splits are a possibility. We'll worry about that at the end. But the main thing I always try to do when I have one tag, I don't want to do a split. If I'm wrong on deciding which one to drop, it's rare. Like I think it actually happened last cycle, but it's very rare that whatever hold I have in its place both go to 25. It's got to be, a double drop typically.
Right.
Or it's got to be a really unusual split like we saw last cycle where we had 2 hold split. We had the 27s and the 30s. So that actually eliminated an additional hold throughout the combo.
Right.
Rarely happens though. So worst case, when I'm deciding on which one, I might get 27s or 26s, meaning I'll get a 514 or a 512, which is how I always get by my IWR tags.
The White Claw Outlaws.
Yeah.
For those are new, Michael Cook is how long have you been playing the game, would you say?
96 or 7.
Okay.
Off and on.
Yeah. And you lost count of how many belts you have?
I only got 3 belts technically. 2, I gave one to my brother, and then it got lost in a house fire. But so I got to win one more to replace that. So
motivation. All right.
And I guess I could have had a few more. I didn't take the elite belts because I was trying to get a lot of free matches, but I kind of wish I had now. So maybe I need to win a couple more of those. But with tag, okay, we're going to start eliminating now. So we know we got 47 combos. We're not worried about a split because we could get ourselves some more trouble. Like I said, worst case right now, I might have 27s in the spot of a 29 or something like that. So I'm probably going to get a 512 as my worst. If I start to split and, like if I wanted to split between the 28s and 27s, so I think a 27 might split, strengthen that chance that I could miss both because now there's 4 options. So if I end up putting the 2 lower of the 28 and 27s over here, and then the other one, and I actually miss because the 26 hit, then I've missed one of the key holds and I've split to make the other a little lower. And that's how I could get down to like 508, 510, and I'm not going to win. Right. So as tempting as a split is, if I've got one team, I'm going to just avoid it.
Okay.
First thing to eliminate is based on hole 25. 25 is typically going to be a 29 or a 30, sometimes a 28, but it's going to be in the tag the next cycle.
Okay.
It was a 29 last cycle, so we want all 29s, and it can be a 30 or 28. So we just eliminated the bottom few.
All right.
Next thing to eliminate when you got one. Again, well, it was the one we didn't record, but
Right.
don't try to guess the cycle that is going to go the opposite way. Majority of the time, 30 is going to go between 29 and 30, or 25 is going to go between those two. I'm not worried about trying to guess if it's the time it's going to 28. So we'll just keep the 25s are going, your 25 hold is going to go up to 30.
Okay.
So now we're already down to 30 options. So the next thing, let's start looking at 30 and 25.
Mm-hmm.
In gold, 25 has been very strong at 29. Not necessarily the case in some of the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
You get some of this stuff every once in a while, but for the most part, you can kind of tell when that's going to happen, and it's going to kind of be a staggered pattern. In gold, you see the past 23 cycles. There's only been a couple times that 25 did not hit 29. And you see that only once out of the 23 did it not occur, 2 in a row. So we've got 21 out of 23 telling us that there's a good chance that the 25s, one will be a 29. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I'll say one thing I think really was from our rehearsal edition was the point you made about, like in the bottom 5 or just in general, when there's a hot streak on something, you're better off riding the hot streak than trying to say like, I'll think everybody, this will be a cycle of drops, because you're more likely to just miss the points than you are to really nail it. That's a really good way to look at it.
Yep. All right. So now we're down to 14 tag combinations.
Good Lord.
Goes by quick. And there's certain things like I said, I try to lock in when I'm doing the larger, like when I team with Brad, we do 6. Seems like a higher number because it is.
Mm-hmm.
But we always try to lock in at least 2 holds, but 3, because then we have a little bit of flexibility between the other 3 to kind of bounce around. So we don't have to necessarily lock one in at, like the 28s over here. We can have 2 28s, 2 27s, 2 26s if we like the 25s in a certain spot and the 30s in a certain one. Mm-hmm. Or if I really like a 27, I get some flexibility over here between where I want the 30s or the 25. But I find it best, you'll see people kind of go all over the place when they have multiples. I find it's better to confidently lock in 2 or 3 and then build around that. Then if I'm wrong, that's fine, but I'm more likely to get a 5/16 perfect point flow if I have those small variances and something I feel strong about.
Okay.
All right. So the next thing we're looking at is the 30s. And this one's kind of in an interesting spot because you see we've got 5 in a row.
Right. So it's, again, there's a good point about, well, will it go 6 in a row? Or do you want to roll
most
the
of the
dice?
time? Most of the time, not. You see, if you start looking around, we've got 1 instance.
Yeah, I'm looking.
I don't see another.
No,
so,
that's it. Yeah, the 1 in diamond.
Yeah. Could it go? Yes, it absolutely could. Is anything telling me that it should? No, it's not typically something they do that many times in a row. So I think I would put that on my 1 at 28s. So the 30s will go to 28, meaning we can get down to 6.
And what's nice about this way you're doing it too is that when often you look at the holds and it's just such like a mess to look at, like, oh my God. by kind of doing it in smaller chunks and figuring out, okay, I know I'm pretty sure I think what's going to go to 30, what's going to go to 25, or, what's going to go to 28, and breaking it down that way. It's a little easier to digest.
Darren might be coming back in.
That's cool. Let me, we don't need him, that bum.
Yep.
Him and his Cincinnati Reds.
All right. So we're down to 6. And now we literally have to eliminate the 28s, the 27s, or the 26s.
Mm.
I don't have any data that tells me this point. I could get it, but I just don't have it.
Okay.
I can feel a little safer in my mind. The Fed after a double hole drops, that it's going to be all right. It obviously can't go to 25s. So again, when I'm thinking on my tag about that base, I don't want to do terrible, especially like right now in the TV tag champ. So if I can have at least 5-12, I'm going to probably win 25-30 matches in the BRL. That's always nice.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like the 26s are a little safer. And then if you look here, it's not necessarily the greatest pattern, but after 29-27 has hit in gold, look back the last, I think we counted 5 times, a 26 hit. It was either 28-26 or 29-26.
Sure. And that's a good way to
So-
describe finding a pattern, because I think oftentimes you hear that, and I've tried to explain it to people, and they're like, are you looking at those posters in the wall that you see the ship and the big montage, and like you see the dolphins? I think this is a much easier way to look at it and say, no, like, look at what traditionally what happened. Now, for instance, it's not sitting there saying to you, this is exactly what's going to happen, but it gives you a little thing like, okay, in the past, this has happened, it could happen. And that's usually good enough to go on.
Yeah. I mean, there's not an exact science. So like I said, just if you pick most likely, then you'll do above average. It's that simple.
Yeah. And that's
all right. So we're down to 4. We like the 26s. So now let's look at 27 or 28. One of them's got to go. It's tough right here, but it feels really weird to see that many cycles in a row missing one from all the 30s, 28s. It's got to go pretty soon. And if we look at the hole drops, you see 28s are probably not going to drop, right? I say probably not because it's not often that a Fed has multiples of the same double drop within just a smaller span. It's happened a few times, but it like Jay did it right here and things.
Right.
But overall, it's really rare. Yeah, I think that's the only instance I'm seeing offhand. There's an iron one off 27s, but again, that's 2 out of 2 years worth of data. So I kind of feel based on 28s having already hit this year. Again, it has that base that it's likely not going to be a 25 on both of them, and that it's well overdue to actually hit either 29 or 30. Again, 5 cycles in a row. You look back, that's literally not happened. See,
oh my God. How far back does this go?
I think this goes back to maybe 12, 13 years at this point. So the last 49 cycles, it hasn't happened. It happened like 50 through 54 ago.
Okay.
Again, easily could follow this, that it's going to continue, but more than likely, it's going to be there. It's just do. And when things are due, you kind of need to go for it.
Did we lose Darren?
I saw him in here. All right. So I liked 26. I like 28. So now we're down to these two. I got to basically decide which one I want. Do I want the 28s going to 30 or the 26s? The good thing about being concerned within league, it doesn't matter which one I go with.
Mm-hmm.
They're both 516 if it hits.
Right. And that's
one
the
could
thing
be
too.
perfect point flow.
Yeah. So one of them is going to be, IWA tag belts. The other one's probably going to be at least a win.
So we'll pick one in a minute. Just want to show everybody
Sure.
how to map it out in case they don't know. So when we only have 5 holds listed, obviously we need to put 10 on our front.
Mm-hmm.
We're just duplicating each of these values from the previous cycle into those spots. So the first 30 is going to be the 29s. And you see, we basically just mirror the 2 holds. So wrestler 1 has the first 30, then the second, and the second one has the second, then the first, so that it overlaps. So if hold 25 hits 30 as expected, we've got to cover it at 1 and 2. We don't really have to worry about knowing which 25, which of the 30s is going to hit.
Right.
We got it covered. And this is, I think Darren talked about it with the 6-man, but you do lose a little bit in regards to how they're going to do in singles, but
Right.
you strengthen the multi considerably.
Right. And I think it's one of the nicest features about the game. It's that, to be the best, you got to kind of sacrifice the right, the possible scores.
There's literally one cycle that the White Claw Outlaws did not do this, and it's because it was in the BBL, and they both had titles. I think one had league title and one had a regional. And so I tried to cheat a little bit on the back 5 and pick just one of the 44s, but I picked the wrong one. So not only did they do worse, that's when the Disembowelers beat them for the BBL UBB titles.
Disembowelers.
So literally their only actual loss in a title match was because I did not follow what I always do. So
yeah.
And they've not done it since, and they will not again. All right, so I guess make the final decision here. Let's look back one more time. I'm just going to put the 28 to 30s.
Yeah,
it's
been a while. So
yeah, I don't like this little staggered pattern going on too much longer. It's a little bit too cute. So let's just put the 28 there.
Just easy as that. And that's the front end pretty easily. Now the back end's just
mirror the 44s, mirror the 43s, and that's your 11 through 14. And then the 245s, wrestler 1 gets 1, and wrestler 2 gets the other. So again, one's going to be 43, one's going to be 44. Got it covered.
Right.
And that's how we did the tag.
Poor Darren's computer died. Internet died.
I did it.
That's all right. We're at like 2 minutes left anyway. So
yeah.
No, this was really good. Again, now we have our test run out of the way. But no, I think it's really good information, and I think a lot of the guys that have struggled, especially in the NWL, where mostly it's solo performance, but it's good to get them. And I always tell people, if you're in the NWL, you can also join other leagues and start working on your multis. Get some feel for the game. So, all right. Any parting words of wisdom before we call it a night? Because we recorded this time.
Yep. I think that's it.
All right. Well,
like I said,
what's that?
if you do have a few more, I would have basically stopped at like 1 or 2 steps back. So if I was running, one of my bigger rosters, and I would basically just stop 1 or 2 back when I've locked in a couple, like I said, and just read all those combos and
All right.
not make that final decision. Because like I said, it's very subtle between a non-perfect point flow and a perfect point flow. So sometimes you just have to have that small variance and you'll get it covered.
All right. Well, thanks again for doing this. We'll give it another swing next time. So hopefully the players enjoyed this. If you have questions or ideas or suggestions, feel free to let us know, and we'll go from there. So thanks again. Enjoy your White Claws.
Yep.
And no good luck to you. You don't need it.
Yeah, but I got it.
All right. All right. Thanks, man.
See you.